This is a doorway dolly that I made. I made a few videos about this. I was having trouble with the audio, so if you saw those, I apologize. But I wanted to show you this is not going to be a step-by-step video on how to make one. In other words, I'm going to just show you what I was able to make, and I think it's a professional-looking doorway dolly. The wheels that I used were the same as they use on Matthews. Those are Azusa go-kart wheels. You can get them on almost any go-kart website. Then I used the tires and racing slicks. I have been building go-karts since I was 12, 13 years old. So this basically is a go-kart. So if you know how to build a go-kart or have messed around, you know how to weld, or you know someone that can weld and cut some steel, you should be able to put this together by yourself and make a really nice looking doorway dolly. Now on most doorway dollies, they're about 52 inches long, and this is actually only 42 inches long. That comes to right here. Because this doorway dolly was specifically built to put a jib crane on it, and I was going to be in some tight corners to turn, and I wanted the wheelbase shorter. And when I went to just go ahead and put my regular video tripod on here, I realized that I didn't have enough room. So what I did was I made it an extension. And if you see here, I made this extension here and bolted this on, and that gives me an extra about 10 inches. So now my doorway dolly board and base, everything, it's 51 inches long. So that's close to the 52 that normal doorway dollies have. But the other thing that I realized is if you have a doorway dolly, right where this bar is right here, you could actually put this extension. You could make one and make this extension on your doorway dolly, and you could add about another 9 to 10 inches on yours, which would give you some more room to move around on. So that might be something you want to look at. The other thing I wanted to show you was that the turret, I used some 1-inch square tubing and welded it in here, and that's where the turret is bolted. You can bolt or unbolt it, take it off, do whatever you want to. But this is just a 2-wheel doorway dolly. What I mean by 2-wheel is just the 2 wheels turn. There are some that are 4-wheel turning, but I just made 2 of mine turn. This doorway dolly also, you can quickly use it like a wagon where you can pull or push it. If you need to remove the push bar, my push bar is a little bit stiff because of the way I built it. I didn't put another bar at the bottom, but it'll just come off. And then if you're packing up to go somewhere, you take the turret off, you can take the extension off, and then you just fold this all the way over and it will fold down flat on the doorway dolly. So I'll put the push bar back on here, line the wheel holes up, and then just bring the arm back up here, put the nut on, there we go. And then you're ready to go and do what you need to do. Now, something else I want to point out to you are what's called the spindles. That's where the wheels go onto. I made my own spindles. They're out of 5/8 mini bike axles. This is the kingpin. It goes straight up and down, and then you have the axle. It's very important if you are going to build your own doorway dolly, or if you're going to make your own spindles, that, or even if you buy your own spindles, make sure that your spindles, this is the kingpin, it goes straight up and down. Your axle has to be at 90 degrees. Now they do have spindles out there for racing go-karts that you may accidentally pick up, and they have what's called kingpin inclination, where the kingpin goes at an angle and your axle is still level to the ground. But what happens is when it turns, it will actually flex the body of the go-kart or the frame. And if you have that on a doorway dolly, you don't want that. You don't want the flex. You want everything to just stay straight. So if you're building your own spindles or if you're buying them, make sure that they are at a 90 degree. Now what I want to show you is that this was specifically made for my jib crane, and you may have seen some videos about that. This right here is a regular 3/8 inch thread. So you can actually take a video head for your, off your tripod and thread it on here and use this as a tripod if you wanted to. This is the bottom part of the jib crane. It's what lets the jib crane spin around. And as I said, you may have seen parts of this on some of my other videos. The jib crane just goes in like that. And then I was just throwing this on for the counterweight. And as you can see, the jib crane will work just fine. Now, you may have seen this jib crane is in the shortest configuration. And my idea is that you have these tubes, and then you just put the, I call them stubs, inside, tighten them down, and then you can just build as much of the jib crane that you want to. Also, there's different heads on this jib crane right here. This is what I call the heavy duty head. This one will let you rotate your camera 360 degrees. What's nice about this one is that if you put your camera, you can actually have someone pushing this, and you can do some of your shots off of this if you want to. And then what I want to show you also is the leg levelers that I have incorporated into that. So let me go get those and I'll show you what they look like. On some Doorway Dollies, you have seen they make what's called leg levelers. They're very expensive. And what I've done with this Doorway Dolly is this square tubing here. If you're going to put your sideboards in, you would slide the tubes in here, and then underneath I have welded a nut, and you would just tighten that nut down on your sideboards. Well, in this case, what you can also do is take this all thread. I welded a nut on the top, and you can get it started. And this looks like a hockey puck, but it's a hard piece of plastic with a countersunk hole that will let the all thread go in. Then you can take a drill there you go. And you can see that the wheels are up off the ground. You can go around leveling up your Doorway Dolly, and then you can use your jib crane from a platform, or if you want to get on top, you can use your tripod. But this way you're not worrying about the Doorway Dolly moving on you, and it's a very simple and inexpensive way to put leg levelers on your Doorway Dolly. So hopefully this will help you out a little bit. You can see the Doorway Dolly that I made, and you can make one too, and if you do, I hope yours turns out better than mine.